A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a bold move that signals an escalation in his ongoing trade war, President Donald Trump has announced a staggering 35% tariff on imports from Canada, set to take effect on August 1st. This new tariff rate marks an increase from the current 25%, further straining relations between the two neighboring countries. Trump's decision was conveyed in a letter to Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, where he warned that the tariff could increase if Canada retaliates. This latest announcement comes amidst a series of over 20 similar letters Trump has dispatched to various trading partners as he broadens his tariffs to include a blanket rate of 15 to 20% on other nations. In an interview with NBC News, Trump stated that not all trading partners would receive individual letters, emphasizing that the U.S. is simply setting our tariffs and that the remaining countries would inevitably face these new rates. The announcement has sent shockwaves through international markets, with U.S. and European stock futures dipping in response to the uncertainty surrounding Trump's tariff strategies. Trump's trade war has already impacted several economies, including allies Japan and South Korea, who have also faced new tariffs. As tensions rise, Myanmar has reached out to the U.S. government, seeking a reduction in its 40% tariff rate. Meanwhile, the Philippines is preparing for a meeting between President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Trump later this month to discuss the 20% tariffs imposed on their nation, alongside mutual defense issues. The implications of these tariffs are significant, especially for Canada and Mexico, who are currently engaged in trade negotiations aimed at reaching an agreement by July 21st. The looming tariffs threaten to derail these talks, as both nations grapple with how to satisfy Trump's demands and bring the USMCA, the trade agreement that replaced NAFTA, back on track. Initially, the U.S. imposed 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican products, which were then adjusted to include exemptions for certain goods under the USMCA. However, Trump has consistently targeted Canada, blaming it for issues such as undocumented immigration and the flow of drugs across the border, particularly fentanyl. In his recent letter, Trump reiterated his concerns about fentanyl trafficking and the trade barriers that he claims hurt U.S. dairy farmers. He hinted at a potential adjustment to the tariff if Canada collaborates with the U.S. to address these issues. Canadian officials have pushed back against Trump's assertions, stating that the amount of fentanyl originating from Canada is minimal and that they are committed to working with the U.S. to combat the drug crisis. The complexities of this trade war are further compounded by Trump's previous agreements with Carney, where they aim to finalize a new economic and security deal within 30 days. As the deadline approaches, both nations are under pressure to resolve their differences, especially with the backdrop of heightened tariffs looming over their negotiations. The situation remains fluid, and as Trump continues to expand his trade war, the global economy watches closely to see how these developments will unfold. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.